I froze in the doorway, my heart slamming against my ribs like a trapped animal. "Here's my surprise for you, you're?" Alex leaned back in his leather chair, that smug grin splitting his face, the kind that made you want to punch it. "Promoted, John. Senior analyst. Comes with a fat raise and your own office." He slid an envelope across the desk, but his eyes, those cold, calculating eyes, held something else, a flicker of amusement that didn't match the words. It was my birthday, for Christ's sake. 35 years old, and instead of cake and candles with Emily, I was here, in this glass-walled prison, wondering why the boss's son looked like he'd just won a game I didn't know we were playing. I forced a smile, grabbing the envelope. "Wow, Alex. That's unexpected. Thanks." My voice sounded hollow even to me. We'd never been close. Alex was the golden boy, heir to the firm, always flashing his Rolex and tales of weekend yacht trips. Me, I was the grinded-out guy, married to my high school sweetheart, scraping by on loyalty and late nights. Emily had mentioned him a few times lately, casual drops like, "Alex said the team's doing great," or "ran into Alex at that coffee shop near the office." Innocent stuff. Or so I'd thought. Shaking it off, I headed home early, the promotion buzzing in my pocket like a lucky charm. Emily greeted me at the door with a hug that felt a beat too long, her perfume, something new, floral and expensive, wrapping around me. "Happy birthday, babe," she whispered, her lips brushing my ear. Dinner was her famous lasagna, candles flickering on the table, but as we ate, her phone buzzed incessantly. She glanced at it, smiled faintly and silenced it. "Work stuff," she said, waving it away. "Tell me about your day." I did, spilling about the promotion, watching her face light up. "That's amazing. Alex is such a good guy for seeing your potential." Her praise felt genuine, but there was that name again, Alex. A tiny crack in the facade. We made love that night, her body familiar yet distant, like she was performing a role. As she drifted to sleep, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, that flicker in Alex's eyes haunting me. Why did he look so damn pleased with himself? The next few days blurred into routine, but the suspicion gnawed at me like a dull ache. Emily started staying late at her marketing job, blaming deadlines. I'd pick up takeout, eat alone, scrolling through her social media on a whim. Nothing overt, just likes on Alex's posts, a comment here and there. "Looks fun." Under a photo of him at a beach resort. Harmless, right? But denial is a fragile shield. One evening, she came home flushed, her blouse slightly askew. "Rough day," she muttered, avoiding my eyes. I poured her wine, trying to play the supportive husband. "Want to talk about it?" She shook her head, but her fingers trembled on the glass. It escalated subtly, those little clues piling up like storm clouds. A receipt in her purse for a lingerie set I hadn't seen. A text notification I glimpsed. "Can't wait for tomorrow, winky face," from an unsaved number. I told myself it was nothing, maybe a friend, a coworker. But suspicion breeds paranoia. I started checking her phone when she showered, hating myself for it. Empty inboxes, deleted messages. "Who are you hiding from, Em?" I whispered to the steam-filled bathroom mirror. Anger simmered beneath the surface, bubbling in quiet moments. At work, Alex clapped me on the back in the break room. "How's married life treating you, John?" Emily still as feisty as ever. His tone was casual, but the way he said her name, possessive, intimate, sent ice down my spine. "What do you mean by that?" I snapped, sharper than intended. He laughed it off. "Just joking, man. She's a catch." I nodded, but inside, trust was crumbling, brick by brick. One night, it cracked wide open. Emily said she had a client dinner, kissing me goodbye with lips that tasted of guilt. I followed her. God, I followed my own wife, like some pathetic detective in a bad noir film. She drove to a upscale restaurant downtown, and there he was. Alex, waiting at a corner table, his hand grazing hers as she sat. I watched from across the street, rain streaking the car window, my world tilting. They laughed, leaned in close, his fingers tracing her arm. No client meeting. Just them. Heartbreak hit like a freight train, raw and unrelenting. I drove home in a daze, denial warring with the evidence. Maybe it was innocent. A business thing. But deep down I knew. The next morning, she hummed in the kitchen, brewing coffee like nothing had changed. "Sleep okay?" she asked, handing me a mug. I stared at her, the woman I'd built a life with. Our shared dreams of kids, a house in the suburbs. "Who is he, Em?" My voice broke, low and accusing. She froze, color draining from her face. "What are you talking about?" But her eyes betrayed her, darting away. I pulled out the receipt, the vague text I'd screenshot. "Alex. It's him, isn't it?" Silence stretched, thick and suffocating. Then tears. "John, it just happened. He's exciting, ambitious. You work so much," and I felt invisible. Her words sliced deep, motivation spilling out. Loneliness, the thrill of attention from someone powerful. Understandable? Maybe. But it didn't dull the pain. Anger erupted then, hot and fierce. On my birthday? He promotes me like some twisted joke while screwing my wife. I shouted, pacing the kitchen. She sobbed, reaching for me. "I'm sorry. It was a mistake." But trust was shattered, irreparable. We argued for hours, accusations flying. Her blaming my absences, me her deceit. The collapse was total, our love story unraveling into bitter threads. In the end, I packed a bag, the promotion envelope crumpled in my fist. "Keep the house," I said, voice steady despite the storm inside. "I hope he's worth it." As I drove away, rain pounding the windshield, heartbreak gave way to a hollow resolve. I'd rebuild, scarred but wiser. Emily's betrayal wasn't just about Alex. It was the death of illusion, the harsh truth that even the deepest bonds can fracture under neglect and temptation. Looking back, that birthday surprise was the cruelest gift, exposing the rot beneath our perfect life. It left me reflecting on how blind we'd been, how love demands vigilance. And in the quiet nights that followed, I wondered if she'd ever feel the same ache, or if she'd already moved on to her next thrill.